In this class we will be seeing programmable logic device PROM, PROM. The logic construction of 64 cross 4 PROM. PROM stands for programmable read only memory. We need to see what is the logic construction of it, 64 cross 4. The block diagram of PROM is this one, that is n inputs and m outputs. For n inputs, we will be having 2 to the power of n addresses and m output. So, this is a way to draw the block diagram of PROM, n inputs, m outputs. It is 2 to the power of n cross m. So, how to draw this 64 cross 4 PROM? The PROM consists of 64 words, 64 words of 4 bits each, 64 words of 4 bits each. There are only 6 input lines, that is 2 to the power n. N means input lines. 2 to the power 6 is equal to 64. So, input lines are 6. So, for each address input there is a unique selected word. If the input address is 6 zeros are there, if the input address is 60, the word that is at the output side, the word number will be 0 is selected and is applied to the output lines. If the input address, that is all the 6 input lines are having 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, that is all the input lines are ones, the word number at the output is 63 is selected and is applied to the output line. So, PROM is 2 to the power n, where n is the input line cross m, 2 to the power n cross m, m are the output lines. Now, let us see the construction of 64 cross 4 PROM. For drawing 64 cross 4 PROM, we need a decoder and OR gates. So, we need 6:64 decoder, because what is a PROM? PROM requires n input lines. So, 2 to the power n cross m, m means output lines. So, 64 cross 4, it means we need 6 input lines. So, we can give 6 input lines to 6:64 decoder. What is a decoder doing? Input 6 and output is 64, 0 to 63, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on till 63. So, what is a PROM? It requires 6 input lines and then there are 64 output lines of the decoder. So, let us draw the 64 lines 0, 1, 2 and likewise we can go on drawing till 63, 0 to 63 means 64 output lines. Okay. Now, we require OR gates. So, how to connect it now? So, what is our diagram logic construction is 64 cross 4. Okay. So, we need 4 output lines. So, the output of the decoder, to the output of the decoder we need to connect 4 OR gates. Okay, 4 OR gates. So, 4 output lines and 6 input lines. So, how many input lines are there? 6 input lines and 4 output lines to draw 64 cross 4 PROM. Okay. So, the first OR gate, how do we draw this one? We will connect from 0, 1, 2 and so on till 63. So, these are dot means they are connected, all the 64 lines are connected to this OR gate. So, these are fuses. depending on the output required, that fuse will be blown off. If it is blown off means that path is incomplete, from that line the output is 0. So, likewise we have drawn for F1 all the 64 lines, for F2 all the 64 lines, for F3 all the 64 lines, 0, 1, 2, so on till 63. 0 to 63 means 64 lines are connected to this OR gate, connected through fuses. Likewise F4. So, how many fuses are required? For each OR gate we require 64 fuses, because from 0, 1, 2 this is 63. So, 0 to 63 means 64 fuses in one OR gate. So, there are how many OR gates here? 4. So, how many fuses are required? 64 into 4, that is 256 fuses are required for drawing this 64 cross 4 PROM. Okay, is it clear now how to draw this PROM? We need to draw 64 cross 4. 64 cross 4 means 4 are the outputs. We need 4 OR gates. The outputs are F1, F2, F3, F4. And 64 how we will get it? By using a decoder. Decoder means for this we need a decoder of 6:64 decoder. 6 input lines and 64 output of the decoder. Okay. And the input lines are A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, and the output variable names are F1, F2, F3, F4. How many fuses are required for each OR gate? 64. 64, 64, 64, 64 means 256 fuses are required. Okay. I hope you have understood the construction. Likewise, you can connect it for this F4, 0, 1, 2 and this is 63. This means dot dot means the remaining lines are not drawn to avoid the complexity of the construction. And we need to darken the points so that it is shown that they are connected to this particular line, not to other lines of this diagram. Okay. So, for drawing 64 cross 4 PROM, we need 6:4 decoder and 4 OR gates. Input lines are A0 to A6, A0, 1, 2, 6 input lines. So, it will not be A6, it will be till A5, A0 to A5. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, 0 to 5 means 6 input lines. So, this is not there, sorry for it. So, we need 6 input lines A0 to A5 and 4 output lines. Input lines are A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and output lines are F1, F2, F3, F4 and we need 6:64 decoder. Okay. So, these are the quick review of this PROM. A PROM is a device that includes both the decoder and the OR gates and the OR gate within a single IC package. Second point, it consists of n input lines and m output lines. Each bit combination of the input variable is called an address. Each bit combination that comes out of the output lines is called a word. The number of distinct address possible with n input variable is 2 to the power n and there are 2 to the power n distinct words in the PROM. The word available on the output line at any given time depends on the address value applied to the input line. So, this is how we have drawn the 64 cross 4 PROM. I hope you have understood. If you have any queries, you can post in the comment section. Thank you. Good luck, students.